And welcome back to Flow's Sports Fix on this Wednesday. We've still got our conversation with Andy Marr to come for you. The stat man, he'll be looking at Paddy Dangerfield and his 3-game suspension. Also some footy tipping. We've got our number one, the Shark, and a new Test Cricket Nation to talk about. That's all coming up on the Flow Sports Fix on this Wednesday. But it's time for some local football with the Flowman looking to start with at the YPFL.
The Yorke Peninsula Football League today. And this is one of the really interesting leagues in country football. It's based around the best leg in football, as we've said for the many years that we've been covering it here on 90.9 FlowFM and across our broadcast radio network. The clubs that compete in this competition, there are 9 clubs. Ardrossan are the Kangaroos, and they'll be coached by the former Carlton, Crows and Greater Western Sydney ruckman, Big Sam Jacobs, the source of it all. He's back at home at Ardrossan, the Silos down there, and he's looking forward to trying to bring some success back to the club. They haven't won a premiership since 2004. Before that, they were a pretty successful club since the Yorke Peninsula Football's inception back in 1961. They have won 9 premierships, so they've had a bit of a drought though. 17 years since they've tasted success in YP football. Butte last year, they took off over to the Adelaide Plains to actually continue playing. They were runners-up, unfortunately, and they continue to be the bridesmaid, that is for sure. The Roosters have been in this competition since 1962. They have won 5 premierships. Their last was in 1993. That means they have not won a premiership for 27 years. Central York Cougars are the merger between Arthur and Maitland back in 1997. As a merged club, they've won 1 premiership in 2007. Before that, there was some success for both clubs. 3 premierships for the Maitland Lions and the Arthurton Tigers. Well, they had 3 premierships also. So they've come together and had 1 premiership since their merger. They seem to be more successful as standalone clubs before that. Then the CMS Crows, well, they're the merger of Caramalca, Minlaton and Stansbury from the old Southern Yorke Peninsula Football League. And the CMS Crows, since they came together in 1994, have had 5 premierships. They had a stellar period, 2003, 6, 12 and 13, back-to-back in 12 and 13. Had a bit of a quiet period, though, since then, the last 7 years, so they'll be looking to get back into the hunt this year. Kadina Bloodhounds, they've been in the competition since 1961 and won 5 premierships. They were very successful in the 2002, 10, 11 and 17, so some pretty regular success in the current century. And for the Moota Demons, they've been in the league since 1961, 4 premierships, 2018 and 2016, the more recent ones for them. Pascaville, the Magpies, have had 7 premierships and they've spread it around pretty evenly in this competition, with Paskey since 1961 having had some success in 2001, 2014 and 2015 back-to-back, while it was the Southern Eagles who joined in a merger with Edithburgh, Yorktown and the Western United, or the Waruka, part of that club, in 1994, and they have the last premiership in this competition back in 2019. That was their 4th premiership. They've had 3 in this century. Wallaroo Bulldogs have got 8 premierships, but it's been a long time since they've been successful. They won the inaugural clubs in 1961, but they haven't tasted success since the year 2000, which means it's 20 plus years since they've been a successful side. And looking at the draw, it starts on April the 10th. Butte take on Wallaroo at home. Tell you what, Butte have had some good juniors that have come from this club, including Lachlan Jones, who's on the Port Adelaide Power list right now, and he'll be hoping to break into their senior squad, the young man. And Butte will be hoping to break in with a win up first against Wallaroo and maybe get that elusive premiership that they've waited since 1993 to get. Kadina will want to stop them. They play Ardrossan in the first round. Big Sauce Jacobs' moment of truth arrives at the Kadina Oval against the Bloodhounds in the first game on April 10. Central York Cougars play Pascaville at Maitland Oval, and Southern Eagles play Moonta at Waruka Oval, with the bye being handed out in the first round to the CMS Crows. That's a look at your Peninsula football on your Sporting Fix.
And now we head over the border to the Sunraysia Football League.
We're looking forward to Sunraysia getting going. I'm in that part of the world, or at least the northern Mallee part of the world, and football here is getting going on the 2nd of April, which is just Easter Good Friday. South Mildura play Orimple, and then Owen United, the Kangas, and the local town where I'm based at the moment, they will be playing on Saturday, April the 10th, their first game at Blackburn Park at home against Mildura, and have a look at the park today and just see what sort of condition it's in, just a couple of weeks away from football being played in earnest on it. Of course, that's going to be great for the under-18 boys because they will take on the side that beat them in the grand final back in 2019. Maybe a chance for them to exact some revenge. And for the Owen United Kangas seniors side, well, they haven't had it all their own way in recent times. They did win a couple of premierships when they first come into the league. Their first season in the league as the Owen and Underbull sides came together and to form the Owen United Kangas and moved out of the old Mallee League, which disbanded in 2015. They then took on the role as the premier in this new league. They were the new people on the block, and then they were able to win the premiership, which was magnificent in 2016. Backed it up in 2018 after narrowly missing out to Orimple in 2017. Orimple got it again in 2019. They've been a very good side in recent times, the Swallows, and they will be hard to beat this year, the blue and gold side. They've had 7 premierships in their era, but it's the Imperials who have been the top side in the competition, and the Green Men, well, they have had 19 premierships. Their last was, though, in 2013, so for such a successful club, they've been a little short on premierships in recent times. Merbein, the Magpies, they play at Kenny Park. They've had their last premiership back-to-back, 2002 and 3, while Mildura, the Demons, well, they haven't had a premiership since 2007, and they'll be looking with their good juniors, kids that they had in the under-18s, to have them come on now that the extra year and a half older. They could well be a threat this year. And the boys from Redcliffe, so the Tigers, they will be looking to repeat those back-to-back eras of 2014 and 15 when they last won their premierships, while Robinvale Euston play as the red and white side, and they will be looking to relive the glory of 2010 this year. South Mildura, the Bulldogs, play at the Sarah Oval, and they haven't won a premiership this century. Back in 1998 was when they last celebrated in the hoops. And the Kangaroos from Wentworth, who play out of Dareton, the George Gordon Oval, last tasted glory in 2012. Of course, they do wear what looks like a Bulldogs outfit, but it's not. It's called the Kangaroos in this part of the world. And looking across at the Owen United Kangas, they're looking forward to this season, particularly their club with a lot of organisation going into 2021 after not playing in 2020. Their football coaches, Dean Jardine and Brad Valance, they are 2 legends of their respective clubs, and coming together there into the Owen United Kangas, and they will coach the senior side. Luke Summerhayes takes the reserves. Ben Mole, he gets the under-18s. He'll be very good. Under-16s, Todd Barker, Danny O'Shan and Wayne Grace. Under-14s is Jimmy Morris and Brad Parsons. Under-12s, Andrew Clark and Sam Weathers and Nat Pengelly. And Nick Poll will have the under-10s, and the Kanga kickers, Jason Wills, will pick them up. In the netball side of it, Casey Crothers and Kyra Nathan are going to coach the A-grade. Lyndall Munro, the Bees. The C-grade, Matty Morris. It is the C Reserves, Roe Valance. Under-17 girls are going to be held by Esther Manley, Kate Lockhart and Taylor Wilsmore doing the job. And under-15s, Chloe Corbett. The under-13s, Beck Valance. The under-11s, Raylene Vine. And the Netty Set Go, Michelle Morris. So there it is. The Owen United Kangas ready, set and go, both in footy and netball. And I'm looking forward to covering it with Jace Regan on our Friday night sports show. And that is a look at the Owen United Kangas in the Sunraysia Football and Netball League. Looking forward to their first outing on the 10th of April, the first round of football after Easter.
And the Flow Winter Sports Show will be starting up after Easter, and the Sunraysia Football League, that'll be one of the big ones that we'll be talking about on the Flow Winter Sports Show with the Flow Man and the Stat Man. And the Stat Man, well, he's coming up next. He's looking at some footy tipping and also discussing the Paddy Dangerfield 3-match suspension.